market for American pickup trucks in Australia has certainly grown in recent years, with the Chevrolet Silverado and Ram 1500 trucks really starting to boom as they come into that round high 90s to $130,000 mark, much more affordable than they have been in the past. These two entries are about to be joined by the Ford F-150, which arrives next month, and sometime next year we're going to get the Toyota Tundra. Now, we really can't wait to get the Toyota Tundra because it's an all-new car for the 2023 model in the USA. Toyota Australia are currently doing the development and engineering on their right-hand drive conversions for the new Tundra. At the moment, they've got 300 vehicles here in Australia doing the rounds all over the country. So we're going to be getting them sometime in 2024. They're probably going to be a 25 model vehicle. But we couldn't wait for that. We wanted to get one now, see what they're like on Australian soil. We've grabbed this Tundra from American Vehicle Sales in Melbourne. They've been converting US vehicles, sports cars, muscle cars, pickup trucks for near on 30 years now, so they really know this market. This is their first Tundra into the country. They converted it themselves. It's now approved for registration, so they've given it to us for a day to see what it's like. This particular Tundra is not the specification we're going to be getting in Australia. It's a relatively low model SR5 with the TRD Sports pack on it. And also, it's what they call an extra cab, which is like an extra cab we get here, but it has got opening rear doors, only very short ones. The ones that we've seen Toyota Australia testing here have been the longer cab with a shorter bed and a much bigger rear section for rear seat passengers. The other big difference between the cars we're going to be getting here and this one here is that the cars Toyota Australia are going to bring are all going to be hybrids. We believe so anyway. Now that's the same engine, which is a 3.4 litre twin turbo petrol V6 engine. Without the hybrid system, it's making 290 kilowatts and 650 Newton meters of torque. So it's no slouch on its own. With the hybrid boost as well, it's well over 300 kilowatts of power. So that's going to be a rocket. It's going to be really interesting to see when it gets here. It's a 10-speed automatic. This has got a part-time four-wheel drive system with high and low range. The TRD pack does get you some off-road modes in the terrain settings. It's got Bilstein shock absorbers, 18-inch wheels with all-terrain tyres. Who knows what our specification will be, but I bet we'll be getting higher spec leather interior with all the features. The other big thing with this latest model Tundra is it's based on the same chassis and platform as the Land Cruiser 300 series. That's a big thing because this old Tundra, if you ever drove an old Tundra, they're really loose and floppy like an old pickup truck used to be. This all-new chassis is a beautiful thing, much wider, tighter, more torsional stiffness, a much better thing to drive on the road. And our time in this car this morning has really proven that. Coming up through the black spur and the bendy roads, it's been really nice. Easy to steer, really nice conversion on the steering, and yeah, a really good thing to drive. The engine's got plenty of poke, the suspension's nice and firm without being harsh or jittery. It's a really good touring vehicle. Something that's always held back these 1500 class American pickup trucks is their payload capacity. They really don't stack up. They don't carry as much as our mid-size Hilux, Ranger, Navara, those sort of vehicles. The payload for this vehicle is only 650 kilos, so it's way down on those other vehicles I just mentioned. But towing wise, it'll tow 3500 or 4500 on a 70mm tow ball. So way up for towing. And with this power and this gearbox, it'd be a beautiful towing vehicle. And the suspension would handle that beautifully as well. The guys at American Vehicle Sales, they're already working on a GVM upgrade for this car, so that's something you'll be able to get from them. We don't know what Toyota's going to specify with when they come here next year. So we've got it off the highway now, out in the forest. Let's see how it goes on the gravel roads. Getting behind the wheel of the Tundra SR5, it's really a nice place to be. Even though this vehicle is a fairly base spec SR5, cloth seats and some pretty rough plastic trimming inside, it's still a nice spacious cabin, well thought out interior. Actually expected it to be a bit more like the 300 series inside, but it's got its own feel and look to it. The screen in this car is quite small as well. I know there's a bigger 14-inch one in the higher spec versions, which is the vehicle I expect we'll get in Australia. It's surprising the quality of the plastics in this car. They're quite hard and harsh. And as I said, this is a SR5 spec, which is second from the bottom in the US range. But we've also found when driving Toyotas in America as well that the American-built cars just don't have the fit and finish inside that certainly a Japanese-made Prado or Land Cruiser has, or even a Thai-built Hilux or Fortuner. It's not the same feel of quality that we get in the cars in Australia. Hopefully Toyota fixes that when they bring its Tundra to Australia. The rear seat in this short cab version doesn't leave a lot of room there. You wouldn't want to be sitting in the back for too long. We'll be carrying rear seat passengers a lot. And again, I expect we'll get the full longer cab version with the shorter cargo bed. This long cargo bed's great if you want to carry dirt bikes in the back, so you'll be able to put them in there and keep the tailgate up. The 3.4 litre twin turbo engine really gets up and goes. It's well mated to the 10-speed auto transmission. It really doesn't feel like it needs the extra performance of the hybrid, but I'm sure that's going to have its benefits as well, both in fuel consumption and performance. It's going to be really interesting to see what Toyota Australia delivers for us in 2024 when it brings out its version of the Toyota Tundra. We'll have to wait and see what comes about there. But in the meantime, if you want a Toyota Tundra now or any other American vehicle, get in touch with the guys at American Vehicle Sales in Rowville, Victoria. Just have a look at american.com.au. Have a look at the range of American trucks there.